we have a spectrum of opinions in the classical Quranic commentaries about this. Al-Mawardi died 450 of the Hijra, so the middle of the 5th century of the Islamic reckoning, mentioned that there were two opinions. One, that he was an angel, and two, that he was a human being. But that opinion that he was an angel seems to have been largely forgotten in the classical tafsir tradition. Tafsirs are like this, Safiya, that, a tafsir is written. Another tafsir comes to be written later on, expanding on the previous one. So we have a larger one. And then another one comes to expand on the previous one. So that becomes even larger still, until, the tafsirs become so bulky, so huge, that one craves, a summarized version. And so sometimes people write summarized versions of the longer ones, or they write an entirely new one, but one can see that this is almost like a summary of the previous ones. So what happens then is an idea is found in one tafsir, tends to be replicated in the others. But sometimes a new idea enters, and that too is replicated. Sometimes an old idea is dropped. For no reason, just because maybe one scholar who was writing at a particular juncture didn't see it fit to include that one, and others copy from that later one, and so the idea once dropped, remains dropped until a later researcher goes back and says, well, wait a minute, there was this idea, let me mention it again. So that idea comes to be mentioned by Ibn Kathir, who died in the middle of the 8th century. So for 400 years, tafsirs are being written. This idea is still not mentioned. So Ibn Kathir mentioned it again, and he credited Mawardi with having mentioned it previous to him. But then Ibn Kathir says, God knows best what he was. He couldn't decide. Mm-hmm. But to me, the matter is so simple that he had to be an angel, and rather than a human being. And I'll explain why. Sayyid Abul-Ala Maududi, in his Tafhim al-Quran, he went to great lengths to defend the view that it must have been an angel or some other creature, some other type of being, not a human being, because human beings, according to him, and he's correct, would be subjected to the laws of the world. You cannot, for example, as Khidr goes, he finds a boy and he kills the boy. So the human beings would be subjected to the laws of this world. You cannot just go kill a person. And if somebody says, well, I'm a prophet, I got a divine inspiration to go and kill that person, everybody would look askance at him like, is he really getting a genuine revelation? Or, he's just simply convinced in his own mind that he's supposed to kill this person, because everybody will see that this is wrong. You can't do that. But on the other hand, if an angelic being is taking the life of a person, well, then this is old story. This is what is mentioned in the Quran. This is known that, God, commands his angels to take the lives of individuals. First of all, there is the mention of Malakul Maut, the angel of death. And by extension, there are other angels too. Tawafathul Malaika. So the Quran says the angels take their souls, right? So the idea that he was an angel, this makes a lot of sense given the actions that this individual performs. And while Sayyid Abul-Ala Maududi is saying an angel or some other being, I don't think we need even the some other being. The simple thing is that he was an angel. Now, this explains a lot, because if you say he was a human being, not only is there the problem of how does he conform, or his actions conform to the laws of the land, but there is the problem of how Musa, alayhi salam, a prophet of God, in the highest ranks, is following another human being. So what would be this other human being? So some say, well, that means that he has to be a prophet. And obviously, he would have to be a prophet of a slightly higher rank than Musa alayhi salam, because Musa alayhi salam then becomes his follower. And then you would have the question of, like, where was he a prophet to? Like, how does he mysteriously come in to be in the life of Musa alayhi salam? What else did he do? Where else was he a prophet? The simpler idea is that he was an angel, and as angels come to prophets to give them revelation, as the angel Gabriel came to our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, to give him revelations. Angels came to previous prophets, gave them revelations. This was an angel who came to Musa alayhi salam to give him some revelation, some knowledge that was bestowed on behalf of God to guide Moses so that he can become as strong a prophet and well-placed as he would be.